Hello, everyone. Hi, Harmony.
Hi, Amber. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone.
I always love seeing the pictures of our members. We are so lucky to get to work with all of you and with all those adorable dogs. I'm Amber Kaiser, and I'm here with Harmony Peraza. We work on the communications team at the Dog Aging Project, and we're super excited to be here to talk to everybody today.
Welcome, everyone.
What we thought we would do is just give you a bit of an update on what's currently going on at the Dog Aging Project and introduce you to two key pieces of our scientific studies that the participants are actively involved with right now. Just a little bit of housekeeping. I wanted to remind you that there's a link in the description of the live stream, should be below this video, that will take you to the thread on the dog park where you can ask questions that Harmony and I will answer later in the Q&A section of our presentation. And anyone who puts a comment or a question in that thread is also entered to win our giveaway. So definitely check that out. You will also be able to share this later with friends and family if you want by going to our YouTube channel where it will be archived. So as you probably know, because most of you are members of the Dog Aging Project PAC, the Dog Aging Project has several different scientific cohorts. The PAC obviously is our biggest and really most expansive scientific study where we're collecting survey data from all of our participants and seeing how dogs' lifestyles, environment, and health conditions change over time. We also have some smaller cohorts, Foundation, which is our genetic portion of the study, Precision, which is sort of our molecular biology, biochemistry section of the study, and then Triad, which is our clinical trial. And a huge recent milestone that we've reached at the project is beginning enrollment in the Precision Cohort. Yay! And Harmony has been a huge part of that. And so that was the thing we wanted to start our conversation out with. So I'm going to hand it over to Harmony so that she can explain a little bit more about what the Precision Cohort is all about.
Thank you, Amber. That's right. We are very excited to have finally reached another important milestone. We are actively inviting dogs to the Precision Cohort. And as Amber mentioned, the largest population of our longitudinal observational study are all of our fantastic canines in the PAC. And that's over 30,000 dogs. So within that large group, our analytics team is going to hand select dogs for the Precision Cohort. And the Precision Cohort will involve a more precise look at the dogs that are enrolled. These dogs will be invited to first take part in the DNA testing, just like the dogs in the foundation cohort. They will learn more about the precision cohort, be invited to read and ask questions about the consent form. From there, they will be invited to select an appointment month with their veterinarian. The reason we're going to have you select a month for your veterinarian is we are mailing you a sample kit to take to your vet, where the veterinarian will draw some very important samples on your dog. It would look much like the annual exam, where a dog gets blood collected, urine, feces for certain tests like a CBC, looking at red cells, white cells, and platelets, a chemistry panel that looks at internal organ function, and then a urinalysis, other things like this. We are inviting dogs all across the country, varying ages, varying weights, and varying health conditions. We need a very broad look at the diverse population of dogs across the United States. And so the selection for this wonderful group of canine companions, it's a very special analytical formula that our team takes very seriously. And eventually, enrollment is ongoing, but there will be about 1,000 dogs in this special cohort. We are actively seeking increased funding to be able to invite more canine companions to this precision cohort. And so that is definitely on the horizon. For now, around 1,000 dogs will be invited. Not only will these dogs do DNA testing and sample collection testing with their veterinarian, of which they will get the results returned by their veterinarian, they're also going to be invited to do other fun things like cognitive games with their dog, timed mobility assessments, potentially measuring your dog's body, so on. And this would be these would be annual requests that we would make of this special cohort to see how the dogs change in age over time. Because after all, this is a longitudinal study. So we want to see how things go over the duration of years that we're with our canine companions in the Precision Cohort and the Greater Dog Aging Project PAC. So that's a bit about Precision.
Thanks, Harmony. It's an incredibly complicated part of our study, the Precision Cohort, because we're trying to coordinate with participants and also with their veterinarians, as well as with all the labs that do the various analyses on the samples that are collected. And so we're going to talk a little bit more today about that side of things, sort of the logistics side of things, how it actually works. But I want to give you just a little bit of a teaser about the science that's being done with these samples, because it's incredibly important. So as most of you know, if you've completed the Health and Life Experience Survey or the annual follow-up survey, we collect lots of information about things like diet, physical activity, the environment your dog lives in, and certainly your dog's health status, and how your dog's health profile might change over time. So if we take that survey information and combine it with this information from the samples that are collected in the Precision Cohort, we have the ability to do things like look for genetic markers that might be linked to certain health conditions, to look at biochemical markers in the blood or in the urine that tell us about how maybe environment is connected to health status. We'll be able to do things like develop a molecular clock for age, right? You know how you sometimes meet a dog at the dog park and you're like, oh, is that a puppy? And they're like, no, he's like 14. You're like, what? Like, why are some dogs sort of, seem to have this fountain of youth kind of thing going on? So the molecular clock is a way for us to look at aging on a biochemical level, as opposed to just like number of years from their birthday. So that's going to happen. And then one of the things that I actually am super excited about is the microbiome studies, right? So everybody's intestinal tract, including our dogs, has this complex flora and fauna Our team at Tel Aviv University will be looking at gut microbiome. So what is that community like in dogs' intestinal tracts? And is that associated with health or illness in any way? So we will also then be able to develop this sort of a biochemical profile of health as well that will complement what we know about health history of dogs from the records that our participants upload. So there's a lot of amazing science that's going to happen. And I want to just give you a plug for future events on this channel, because we are going to be having the scientists who are doing each of these parts of the study joining us in conversation to talk in a lot more depth about the research. I also want to alert you to a series on our blog. It's called Inside Precision, and there should be a link to this in the description of the live stream. I think we have 2 posts up right now, but there will be many more from our scientific team that go into a lot more depth about each aspect of the precision cohort research. So definitely check that out. Okay, so maybe we could do show and tell. That work, Harvey?
Absolutely. I'm excited about this. Amber, I did want to step back for just one moment and thank you for mentioning the veterinary electronic medical records. This is also one way that we determine, or rather our analytics team determines, that a canine companion is the right fit for the precision cohort. They review those electronic medical records that have been uploaded. Now, that's not to say that it's necessary to upload veterinary electronic medical records to be in the dog aging project pack. That's absolutely not necessary. It's great if you can, but if you can't because your veterinarian has handwritten records, that's perfectly okay. There's going to be a lot of great things that participants can take part in, even if they aren't able to upload veterinary electronic medical records. And if you are able to obtain those from your veterinarian, but you're having trouble getting them uploaded, that can be a complicated process. You can always reach out to our team to help you with that process. And you can reach us at our website, team@dogagingproject.org. But yes, back to the fun stuff now. So again, once a canine companion is identified for the precision cohort, we've answered all of the participants' questions, and they've consented to be in this smaller study. We mail you a DNA kit, that then the genomic report will be returned to you. Then we're also going to mail you this amazing sample collection kit. This is one of several. We have a husky on the front here, but we don't discriminate. We have several different breeds of dogs that have made the cover of these great sample collection kit boxes. These come right in the mail to you. They're packed for your veterinarian. What we'll ask you to do when you receive the kit is to pop the ice pack that is inside, put that right in your freezer and wait till you get to the appointment day for your veterinarian. And they're going to want to put it back in the kit and take that into the vet. Great things inside. Sample collection items such as sample tubes. We've got very specific instructions for you, the participant. We've also got very specific instructions for your veterinary team. We also touch base with your veterinarian before the appointment day. We want to work in collaboration with your veterinarian. We want to make this a seamless process for not only you and the veterinarian, but also for your canine companion. Once the appointment is set with your veterinarian, you relay that information to us through the portal. You take this kit into your doctor. The samples are drawn. Typically, the length of appointment time is 30 to 45 minutes. And it looks a lot like an annual exam. Then your veterinarian is responsible for packing the kit back up. There's a mailing label inside. We pay for the shipping. We pay for the analysis, and off the kit goes to our lab at Texas A&M and various other labs. And so, yeah, that's how the process looks. Your veterinarian, because they essentially have the close relationship with your canine companion, will be the party to relay these sample results back to you. much like they would at any other appointment where lab samples are drawn, again, like a CBC, a chemistry panel, or a urinalysis, and you can find out more specific information about these tests and what these tests look for on our blogs, and we go into more detail there. But your veterinarian would get this information back to you, and then we move it forward again into the longitudinal study. And we want to look at these items over time, over the duration of time with your dog, to see what changes over time, to see what we can learn for our next generation of dogs.
Harmony, I know you were part of sort of pilot testing this process with your own dog.
Yes.
What was your experience when you went in for your sample kit appointment?
I had a great experience. One thing that I should mention, we invite dogs of all sizes to this study. So for dogs over 15 pounds, which my dog was just over 15 pounds, we went in and he had all of his samples collected in one concise visit. The veterinarian had reviewed the instructions prior to me getting there, so it went very quickly, smoothly. My dog was made to feel very comfortable, and though he had to fast before the samples were drawn, they were sure to reward him with a good treat for his great behavior right after. And within a few days, I heard from my vet. I got the results of the blood panel, and it was really an easy process. Now, again, we're going to have dogs under 15 pounds that are invited to the Precision Cohort. For those dogs, because we just like to play everything as safe and comfortable for all members of every portion of the dog aging project, we like to have the smaller dogs make 2 appointments to spread that blood collection over a 30-day window. So we would draw the first sample on day 1, 30 days later, we would draw the second sample. Then their kit would, their kit process would be complete. And so it essentially is, whenever you take your dog in for an annual exam, a certain amount of blood is drawn. This is a little bit more than I would say an average vet visit, but not by a whole lot, and definitely within the safe realm for all of our companions. This is all created under the safe observation of our veterinary team. And again, health and safety, number 1 for our companions enrolled in the project.
And that's a huge part of the structure of our entire project and our funding from the National Institute on Aging, right? There are many layers of oversight to ensure that everything we're doing is ethical, safe, transparent. And we have more information about that on our website as well if folks have questions. So I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, absolutely, to a person, everybody on this team, our top priority is the health, safety, and happiness of your dogs, for sure.
Right.
So I guess I wanted to add a couple of things. It's been a great overview, Harmony, of how this works. To some of our listeners, it probably sounds like a lot. It is. I really think this is probably the most complicated part of our whole project. I just want to assure you that we give very detailed step-by-step instructions all along the way for how to set up the appointment. We take care of making sure your sample kit arrives to you a week before your appointment. And then once those sample kits are in the mail, they come back to our lab at Texas A&M, and then the samples are divided up and sent to the various researchers who are at universities all around the world. So we are trying to get that done in an incredibly timely manner because we want to make sure those samples are in the top quality condition when they get to our research labs. So you'll see, if you're invited to the Precision Cohort, you'll see in your instructions lots of things like, do this right away, put this in the mail the same day. So we're really emphasizing that with our veterinarians to make sure the process results in the highest quality data for the science. Let's see. You talked already a little bit about the results that we share back. I'm so glad. Please click on that Inside Precision link down in the description, and it'll take you to a blog post about the science there. And I wanted to tell you where we're at with Precision right now. So we have enrolled 307 dogs so far out of the 1,000 dogs that we're planning to enroll in Precision. And we are just starting to get sample kits into the lab. So it's very exciting for all the teams who have been working on this for a couple of years to put this process in place. Is there anything else you wanted to add about Precision, Harmony?
Well, let me think about this. I think we've covered a lot about the specifics. It's just very important for our team, as Amber alluded to it, when you first hear about what all is involved in the Precision cohort, it does sound like a lot, but we have a very responsive communication team that loves your questions. We partner with you, we partner with your veterinarian. We're going to answer the questions that you have to make you feel comfortable with the process. And we're here from you. We're here for you, and we greatly appreciate your commitment. So we are very excited to continue enrollment in Precision, and this will continue over the next several months. So there could be invitations coming to portals of those tuning in today. We can't be sure. That's up to the magic of the analytics team.
Thank you. It's super exciting to have hit this milestone as a project. So we also today wanted to switch gears a little bit and tell you about another thing that is happening right now at the study. Right now in research portals around the world, around the US, folks are being invited to complete the Canine Social and Learned Behavior Survey. And I was hoping you could tell us a little bit more about that, Harmony.
Sure, absolutely. The Canine Social and Learned Behavior Survey, or the CSLB, as we refer to it around the team, it goes out to all PAC members. This is the first time we're sending out the survey. We definitely plan to do it in years to come. It's a very short survey compared to some that all you have committed to, and we again greatly appreciate your time. This one takes about 5 minutes, and the topics that the CSLB covers really revolves around the cognitive function of your dog and how your dog is functioning cognitively today. How quick are they to find a piece of food that falls on the floor? Some questions for, again, the survey goes out to dogs of all ages, or to the participants whose dogs are all ages. So some of the questions may seem like they are geared for dogs that are a bit older, but really it covers a wide variety of behavior possibilities. And what we want to look at year after year, again, because we're a longitudinal observational study, is how does this survey change over time? For instance, if I were to have filled this survey out about my German Shepherd 3 or 4 years ago, I might have been bragging in the survey about his level of awareness and how quick he is to know that I've walked into the room, and he's very alert. Well, now he's 12 or 13 years old, and some of his cognitive ability seems to perhaps have slowed a little bit. And so we do expect to capture these changes over time. And though they are natural occurring changes, it is something that's important for our team to be aware of. And again, to provide data for the health span of dogs. Cognitive function is as important for us to understand as kidney function, heart function, how their physical exams are. It's just a huge piece that contributes to a dog's lifestyle overall. And then again, just, as a reminder, we just really can't say enough that the biggest part of the dog aging project is the longitudinal observational aspect of it. We gain all of the knowledge from our large group of participants, 30,000 and growing. We are always inviting people to nominate their dog for the Dog Aging Project and then to make it onto the pack. Once you complete that very first survey, you're a pack member. So we are going to be learning about these dogs' lifestyle, health status, environment, diet, through these surveys over the duration of our project or the duration of the companion's life. And we're going to be observing and evaluating how the variables change. We're going to be making the connections that we can and the insights that we can draw to find ways to increase health span. And again, as a reminder, it's so important because a dog's lifestyle is so similar to our own lifestyles. We have so many things in common. Our access to advanced medical care, often dogs eat a diet that's closely related to ours sometimes. We share the same environment. So what we learn about the health of dogs in a shorter period of time can be translated to the life of human beings. And we're just very excited about that. So very interested in the quality of dogs' lives and the life of humans. And it's really through the power of paying attention is what we always say. We're just paying attention. For many of these dogs, we're hands off. We're communicating through these surveys and just learning about your dog as they live their natural lives.
That's how I like to think about the Canine Social and Learned Behavior Survey. It's really a way for us to get a glimpse into how your dog experiences the world. So there's not like right or wrong answers on that set of survey, right? It's just some dogs are food motivated, some aren't, some are people pleasers, some have one person that's their person, right? So in addition to the behavioral type questions we ask in the Health and Life Experience Survey and in the annual follow-up survey, the Canine Social and Learned Behavior Survey gives us even more insight into how your dog is experiencing the world. So that survey is going to be sent to PAC members every September. And so we're almost at the end of September now. Folks were being invited in batches. So the vast majority of PAC members should already have been invited to complete the Canine and Social and Learned Behavior Survey. If you haven't done it yet, it's probably in your portal. If you go into your research portal and it's not there, it will be there by the end of the month. So please take 5 minutes and fill that out. It's super helpful for our team. And on that note, I think we'll answer a few questions. There are some questions that folks have posted in the dog park forum and also in the comment section to the YouTube live stream. So let's do that. So Harmony, I'll let you take this first one. Ellen asks, will older dogs also be part of this study? I assume Precision, or only younger dogs so you can get more years of data?
Absolutely, all of the above. Again, we are inviting and enrolling dogs of all generations, the younger dogs, middle-aged and older. And the reason, that we're doing this, we need the most broad look at a diverse cohort of dogs. So we need to learn about the lifestyles of the younger dogs. We need to see how that's different from the lifestyle of this middle-aged or older dog. We need the most broad, thorough look at all of the possibilities of dogs across the United States. So that definitely includes a variety of ages. It's fun for all ages.
Exactly. We recently did a social media campaign with sort of the theme, all the dogs, all the time.
Yes.
And that sort of captures us, I think.
It sure does. That's right.
So Shelley had a question about veterinary electronic medical records, which I think you covered pretty well, Harmony. So definitely uploading those records is a prerequisite for being invited to Precision, but it is not exclusionary for lots of other things. So even if you can't do those records, don't worry about it. There are lots of things to do at the Dog Aging Project. Okay, so yeah, and Grace asked a little bit more about specific criteria as well. And I think, Harmony, you've covered that beautifully. It's really about having a good balance between where in the United States dogs live, a good representation of dogs of all ages, both mixed breed and purebred. And also, we haven't mentioned one thing that is really important to our study is looking at both dogs that have been spayed and neutered and dogs that haven't been. So that we're trying to balance out those groups as well in the selection process.
And on the heels of that, we need to learn from dogs that are not only in pristine, younger, healthy dog shape, but we also want to learn about the dogs who perhaps have some medical issues going on. We really need to understand what it genuinely looks like to be a dog in your senior years. And some of those dogs have a longer medical report than the younger dogs. And we are very interested in that. We care very much for all of our canine companions. And so we need to learn from not only the very healthy guys, but the guys who perhaps have some health issues going on as well.
Yeah, and we hadn't really talked about discussing this in this particular conversation, Harmony, but we are going to be looking at what's called comorbidity in our older dogs. So this is very important in human health, very important in veterinary medicine too. How do different health conditions co-occur, and what does that mean for the dog's overall quality of life? So
that's a good point. That's right.
For more research on that.
Absolutely, we are.
So we had a question about when results are coming out. And I love that question, but it's sometimes a little bit of a hard question to answer, right? So we have results on a couple of different levels. We have both the results of the urinalysis for a particular dog, for example. Those, I think, should be available fairly quickly after sample kit appointments. We have genomic results for the dogs from whom we've collected a saliva sample and done genomic analysis. Those results are going to be available in people's personal research portal, and we're still building that area of the portal a little bit. We're anticipating that by the end of the year, those will be available. Hopefully November is what we're kind of shooting for. And I know I'm excited about that because my dog was part of the pilot testing for that workflow. And so I'm super curious to start getting the genomic results. But then the results on the other part of results are like science, right? The big questions that we're trying to answer. Our scientific team is already analyzing data, writing manuscripts, publishing those manuscripts in the scientific literature. As soon as we have results like that, we'll be sharing those through our newsletter and on our blog. And as we proceed through the process, through the project, and collect more and more years of data, those results become more robust. Those analyses become more robust. And so I think what you'll find is that we'll start releasing results early next year, and that will continue for the duration of the project. Let's see, a couple more questions. Do you want to talk a little bit about how the genomic analysis we do is both similar and a little different from a private, those commercial tests like the ones that you can get from Embark or Wisdom?
Sure. We definitely appreciate that those commercial tests are available, and they definitely provide some very, very good information to dog owners. Our genomic testing, quite honestly, is going to take a bit of a deeper dive beyond being able to create breed calls. We're going to be able to look into some health aspects, perhaps even what would be based on what we're seeing on your dog's genomic profile, I guess at their coat color or their the texture of their coat. So we just take a bit of a deeper and more expansive dive. It's not to say that the commercial tests aren't great, because they are. We encourage anyone to do those, but we just take a bit of a deeper dive, a bit of a different look. So our testing is a little bit different than the commercial tests.
Yeah, I would add to that the commercial tests are using known biomarkers, right? So they have their known genetic markers for certain characteristics. So they will take a DNA sample, they'll look for those markers. If those markers are present, that's a result that they return. One of the things that we're doing is taking the genome sequences of all these dogs, comparing those to the health information that we collect, and that will allow us to find new biomarkers, to develop new markers that don't currently exist for health conditions and other things. So
that's an important point to make, Amber. Thank you. That's absolutely right.
Yeah. So that, I think, is all the questions that have come through so far. If you have more, feel free to throw them in the dog park, and our veterinary team or Harmony or I will answer questions throughout the week. And I think I'll just turn it over to you, Harmony, to close us out.
Okay, this has been a lot of fun. Please don't forget to enter the giveaway at the dog park. Eric will be announcing winners there soon. And if you did miss a part of today's program, the video will remain available to replay on your YouTube channel. As always, please, if there's someone that you know that has not nominated their dog, someone outside of your household, please have them go over to dogagingproject.org and nominate their dog. We are continuing to enroll dogs on a daily basis. We can never have too many in the dog pack, and it's something that excites us very much. So enrollment is still ongoing. Tell your friends, colleagues, family to enroll their dog in the Dog Aging Project. And finally, we had a lot of fun today, and thank you for taking the time to join us on this Wednesday. We look forward to these get-togethers every month, and we're looking forward to October. So we're already putting the pieces together.
So fun to be in conversation with you, Harmony. Thank you.
Thank you.